Hi, I'm here with my brother, and today we will be reacting to Baby Shark. Baby Shark. We're gonna be reacting about Baby Shark. We're gonna
What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. Hey guys, Jonathan here, aka Mini Superheroes Today. And over the last month or so, I've been accumulating a ton of Tobey Maguire era Spider-Man toys. Not necessarily Lego stuff, more action figures, promotional items, but I thought it'd be fun to do a video and show you everything I've got. And if you want to see my full collection, well, not including this stuff, I did a video on that you can check out. It's called My Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Collection on my channel. Anyways, let's dive in. So, I found this recently. This is a Spider-Man 3 era black cat figure. She came with a leaping cougar. Kind of interesting choice there, but I paid $20 for this, and this is from Spider-Man 3, even though it doesn't say Spider-Man 3. They did a wave of figures, like, inspired by the Raimi movies, and I think that some of these were even villains in the Spider-Man 3 video game. But yeah, pretty cool to find something this old in the packaging, so that's that. Now you can see there's a lot of cool stuff here. Staying on the action figure trend, I got this Harry Osborn New Goblin figure. It's basically a Marvel Legends, but I don't think it was branded as a Marvel Legends. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any of his accessories, but this is still probably like a $40 to $50 figure, and as of this video, of course, and I paid $5 for it in a bargain bin up at Replay Toys in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So here, we've got the smaller Harry Osborn. Unfortunately, the pegs on his glider are broken, so you just kind of have to carefully set him on there. You can't swoosh him around. But both of these were $5, so not $5 each, $5 for both. And I got that at Replay Toys as well. Great store up there in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This was a 99-cent eBay find. This is a sealed puzzle from Spider-Man 2, and I remember having this as a kid. Hard to argue with for only 99 cents. And similarly, I got this for 99 cents as well on eBay. An inflatable Spider-Man bot bag. So this is like a punching bag. So when you would inflate it and punch it, it would get knocked down and get back up again. Kind of like the old song. But it's over 3 feet tall, and it is sealed. So you can see the little tape there. And unfortunately, I'm not going to open it just based on how rare it is. But for 99 cents, I couldn't say no. Now, this was the most awesome find I've had in my Raimi Spider-Man collection. I got this at IC Toys in Nashville, and as you can see, I paid a pretty penny for it, but it is an amazing figure. This is the Doc Ock with bendable tentacles, so basically, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that the tentacles have little knobs on the end that would go into these holes on Doc Ock's back. There we go. It's easier to show you the picture on the back. And then you could bend them. There's a piece of wire that you could pose them. And I love that his glasses were removable, too. This is a very, very rare mini figure. Very rare action figure. And I'm super excited to have this sealed. I had it as a kid, and it is just in immaculate condition. If I was ever going to get an action figure from my collection graded, it would be this one. But I'm not really big into grading. Speaking of action figures, I also got this on eBay. I paid about $100 for this one. This is the Shoot and Slide Spider-Man with magnetic projectile launcher. I like this one because it's got that billboard with Mary Jane on it from the beginning of Spider-Man 2. That's the opening shot, the Emma Rose advertisement. And it was pretty cool. You would basically clamp the gun to like a table or a ledge or something. Then you would shoot the projectile out, and it was like a suction sticky thing that would... Oh, actually, it was a magnet. So the magnet would hit the Mary Jane billboard, and then Spider-Man would slide along it. So it's a pretty nice Spider-Man figure, all things considered. And yeah, then the last thing here is pretty interesting. This was a hang tag from Burger King. You can see it's actually pretty big, but there's a hole right here in the top that the string would go through, so it would look like Spider-Man was swinging on a web. And this would basically hang and dangle in a Burger King restaurant. I think I paid like $10 for this, but anyways, I'm going to hang this in my basement just like that, just like the dangle, and that's everything. So yeah, guys, with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Let me know what your favorite thing here is, what your favorite toy is, and also let me know what you've been picking up lately, whether it's Lego, action figures, Funkos, or whatever it is.
Yes!
I love talking about collecting, so let me know what you got, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Way too loud.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.
Baby Shark.
To hit like and subscribe, and
Let's
maybe
see
check out
it.
one of my other videos listed here.
Okay, y'all. Now we're gonna see this one.
Is why I wasn't losing weight.
well,
I didn't pay too much
Let's
attention to
see
what I
our
was eating
video.
because I thought I was eating pretty healthy.
What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes
Normally.
Today. Hey guys, Jonathan here, aka
Not a
Mini
figure.
Superheroes Today. And
Whatever.
I thought I'd do something a little different for today and show
Pricey.
you my childhood collection. That's right, these are all of my action figures from the
Empty toilet.
Tobey Maguire
Oh,
Spider-Man films that I grew up with
Oh.
as a kid. Now, I was born in 95, which means these movies came out when I was a kid. I was the perfect age for all of this stuff. And pretty much everything you see here, I got when I was a kid, with the exception of like the packaged things in the back. I'll kind of explain it all as we go through, but and there's actually some figures I have that aren't here, just because they're like really similar to ones that are on here, and I really just kind of want to give you a highlight reel. But I have to say that if there are any toys I played with as a kid more than my Lego sets, it's what you're looking at here. I love these toys. Now, a lot of them, like these two, for example,
Okay.
are in really good condition, but there are some that are like missing
Great
hands,
condition.
missing
Bad
accessories and stuff,
condition.
because, like I said, I played with them as a kid, and that's the thing, guys. Toys are meant to be played with. Of course, in the Lego world, you know, sometimes we keep stuff sealed, and you can use it as investments, and that's cool. That's all fine. I mean, hey, I do it too, but, you know, they're meant to be opened and played with, but sometimes they do look so dang cool in the packaging. So, today's video will be something a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, let's take a brief look at the old Raimi Spider-Man action figures. And if you're a big Spider-Man fan like me, be sure to check out my music video, The Girl Next Door. It was written about the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and filmed in all the places that they actually
Why is it
filmed the
called The Girl
movies
Next
in real
Door?
life. And yes, I actually did this
Mary
scene.
Jane
Check
is
it out.
Peter's neighbor.
So let's start off by looking at the
That thing about
Spider-Man
that
1
also
toys. Now, Spider-Man 1, of course, came out in 2002, so pretty much all of these toys would have come out around that time. And the first one, and definitely the most desirable one of the lot, is this Spider-Man. Now, there are different names
No,
for
you
these,
aren't.
like the superposable one or
Stop.
web-slinging. I'm not going
I
to go
need
through
to
those
go to
names because,
sleep.
truthfully, I'm more of a Lego guy.
I
I don't
need
know,
to.
like, all the history of every single figure, but this was the most posable figure
Yeah,
of
what's your
Spider-Man
favorite
from the
action
first
figure?
movie, so definitely a very desirable
Him.
one. You can see, you know, you
Okay.
could pose him here. He's got the elbow joints, and I love that his hands, you know, you can make the web pose.
Well,
You have
his
to remember
finger's so
that at this
long.
point, Marvel Legends, like the
Uh.
6-inch figures that we have today, that line didn't really even start until 2001. So action figures of this detail with this much posability at this point in time in history were pretty rare. So from what I understand, this figure goes for well over $100 now. So it's really cool to have one. Mine's in really good condition. But as we get through the video,
Hey,
point in time in
more
history were pretty rare. So
Ben, why'd you reverse
from what I
that?
understand, this figure goes for well over $100 now. So it's really cool to have one. Mine's in really good condition. But as we get through the video,
Great
you'll see
condition.
that some of them aren't in great shape. Speaking of ones that aren't in great shape, this one is in good shape, but, you know, the figure himself is not, with all the cuts. This, of course, is battle-damaged Spider-Man. This is from the final battle from the first movie. You know, he's got all the cuts from Goblin's razor blades and things like that.
Told you.
And I always loved the face sculpt on this. It really looks like the movie. I love the broken eye there. It just looks fantastic, and I loved this figure as a kid. Now, here's a figure that I did not have as a kid, actually. For some reason, I never got Mary Jane, and you know, in my toy hunting in the last several years, this is probably the most common figure to find, mostly because, unfortunately, it's not a huge, desirable, collectible piece. You know, her arms only move this way. She doesn't really do all that much. She did come with, like, a very cool balcony, and you can see I've got one sealed. We'll take a look at the boxed stuff at the end. Well, at the end of this segment. But yeah, the Mary Jane is cool, but it's definitely the least exciting figure from this wave. So I did not have it as a kid, and yeah, it is what it is. Here we have Peter Parker, which something that I really like about this particular first wave is we got a lot of figures that I feel like we would never get by today's standards. And by that, I mean, you know, if you collect Marvel Legends, like they would never just do a Tom Holland Peter Parker figure that didn't come with like a Spider-Man suit or something like that. So that's really cool. You can see he's got a little hole in his hand here. And the reason is he came with a backpack that you could fill with water and you would clip it in. And I think when you squeeze the backpack, it would shoot like webbing out. So that's really cool. But I love that they went through so much detail. Like, look, he's even got fingernails. It really does look a lot like Tobey Maguire, too. You know, sometimes Marvel Legends will do figures now that barely even look like the person, although they've gotten much better about that. He is kind of stuck in a weird pose, though, but the cool thing about him was he came with, like, a bookshelf and stuff and little cans that you could use to, like, knock over and stuff, so it was definitely a very cool figure back in the day. Speaking of very cool figures, we have J. Jonah Jameson, definitely an all-time great figure. Of course, it looks exactly like J.K. Simmons. The head moves. He's actually really posable for a figure that shouldn't do much, but his arm is really cool because when you push his arm up, like his elbow goes back. See what I mean? Like he points. That's really cool. And then he has a play feature where he can slam his fist. And the idea is that with his desk, you can have him slam his fist on the desk, and all the stuff on the desk theoretically is supposed to move around, all the paper weights and pens and all that. So that was always a really, really cool toy. I'm glad I have that one now because I'm pretty sure he's pretty expensive. I think this might be from Spider-Man 2. I don't remember, but I always thought this was cool, the little Daily Bugle newsstand thing here. Just cool. Since we're talking about Jameson here, I thought I would throw it in. Again, like I was talking about, we've got the figures that I feel like Marvel Legends would never make today. And this was literally just a Norman Osborn figure, and his play feature was basically sitting in a chair. It came with a goblin mask you could put right there. And the play feature was when you press down on the seat, the goblin mask would talk. See, we've got the little speakers back here. So that was actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, his hand broke off quite some years ago, but it really does look a lot like Willem Dafoe. And it's a very unique figure in that regard. Now here we have some Green Goblin figures. This one is the battle damaged Green Goblin. You can see that compared to the ones in the back, he's a much darker green, and he's kind of got some wear printed on him. The other thing is he's got like eyes that you can see through. There's really no good way to show it on a camera, but see how the back of the head is translucent? Basically, it would allow the eyes to kind of light up, but this thing was super, super posable. You could see his knees move. He's got a hip there. It's just really fantastic, and these figures were really, really posable. Now, going off of that figure, I think the mold was almost identical to this one, which was the Green Goblin. I think it was just superposable Green Goblin. Unfortunately, mine got so superposed that his hand broke off. You could see what his hand was supposed to look like, but like I said, I played with these a lot. One cool thing with this is you could lift up his helmet and take it off and see the Norman Osborn face underneath. And, you know, it's pretty cool that all these years later, I still have the helmet because you guys know how it is with Lego stuff. It's definitely super easy to lose the accessories and parts like that. So definitely really cool there. Then, of course, we have this Green Goblin, which I think was the Pumpkin Bomb Attack. That was the name of it. But he's not as posable, but I really do like the vibrant green color he is. And it's definitely a very cool figure. Now, speaking of Green Goblin, I'm just kind of letting the figures pile up here. We've got this one, which is the Bump and Go Cycle. If you guys watch my vlogs, you'll remember I found this in Knoxville, Tennessee, back at the end of October. So this is really cool to have in the package. I did have this one as a kid, but somehow I lost it because when I found all this stuff in my parents' basement recently, this was not there. But basically, you would put batteries in this and it would kind of drive around, and it is what it is. I think the figure comes off of there too, but that's pretty cool. Then as promised, I told you I would show you the Mary Jane figure over here, so let's take a look at it. Not really a crazy figure. You can see she's got a little balcony here, you know, basically just like the movie, and the balcony would like break off and, you know, Mary Jane would fall. There were suction cups on the back so you could like, you know, put it on a window. But this is cool. The Peter Parker, remember I told you about all the little pieces on the bookshelf you could knock over? There's that Green Goblin we just looked at. Leaping Spider-Man over here, web-slinging Spider-Man, so really, really cool and great figures all around. The last thing to take a look at is this here, which is the Doll Action Web Blaster. Now, this was a glove that you could slip on, and when you push the little button down, it would shoot silly string out. So you can see it fits both the left and right hands, includes 2 cans of web fluid, and this is complete in the box. There are 2 unused cans of web fluid in there, and when you ran out of web fluid, it came with this one, and you could spray water out of it. So super, super cool. Super rare to have this in the box, and I loved this one as a kid. So this is not my one that I got as a kid originally. Of course, that one was beat to shreds, and God knows where that is now, but it is cool to have gotten another one of these in the box. So let's move on to the Spider-Man 2 toys.
Jurassic World Live Tour. 65 million years
I'm sorry.
In the box. So let's move on to the Spider-Man 2 toys. So I don't have as much for Spider-Man 2 and 3 as I do the first movie, but remember guys, in life it's not about how much you have, it's about what you do with what you do have, if that makes sense. So that's a virtue that I live by. Basically, it is not about the quantity of things, it's about the quality of things and what you have and what you do with it. Anyways, that being said, let's start off with something I didn't get as a kid. I got this earlier this year. I think it was like $1, but I found this at an antique store. This is like a pin advertising the release of the DVD, November 30th, 2004. Can you believe that? As of this video, it's 17 years old. Pretty rad. I need to use some Goo Gone to get the sticker off of there, but the other thing that's pretty cool is this is actually a Burger King toy, and how it would work, let's see if my hand even fits in there, is like it was a little glove. Yeah, it's gonna fit. It's got Spider-Man 2 on there, and there's a sticky thing, so the idea is like, you know, it would stick, and you could use like the stickiness of Spider-Man's powers, I guess, to like catch the ball. Pretty unique, especially considering how lame Burger King toys are these days. In fact, I'm just going to leave this on for the rest of this little segment, because why not? This was one of the more posable action figures for Spider-Man 2. This was the web-swinging Spider-Man. It came with like a light post that you could like zip line him up and stuff, but it's really amazing. He's got, let's make sure he's in focus here. He's got shoulder blades that move back. That's really rare. You don't see that on figures. Now, the shoulders move 360. You can twist. These figures, by and large, pretty much every figure from this wave was super, super posable and is definitely among some of the best Marvel Legends, if you will, that we've ever gotten. These are not technically Marvel Legends, but it's the closest thing I can compare them to, so that's why I keep saying that. I always loved that the detailing was raised here, like the webbing is raised, but also just the little detailing in the blue parts of the suit. And of course, the mask just looks fantastic. I love that it moves back. It's just a great figure all around, and this one is crazy valuable now. In fact, a lot of these Spider-Man 2 figures are super valuable, including this one. This is the pizza delivery bike Spider-Man. Yes, Pizza Time as a meme exists as an action figure, if you can believe that. This was really cool because it came with a stack of pizza boxes on the back. Unfortunately, I don't have all the pizzas. I have one left, which is cool after all these years. And the lid is missing, but you could press this button and it would like fire the pizza out. Pretty cool. Kind of defeats the purpose of him delivering, though, if he's going to fire them out, but it's a toy. What are you going to do? There were pedals on the bike that, there were 2 pedals. One broke off, but there's little, like, studs in there so that you could put the feet of the figure on there and kind of lock them on. The front turns, the wheels move, all that. There is a kickstand, but nobody cares about the bike. The cool thing was actually the figure, because there were not a ton of figures that you could put the Tobey Maguire head on and do like an unmasked Spider-Man. To my knowledge, at the 6-inch scale, it was pretty much just this one. And from Spider-Man 1, they also did a wrestler Spider-Man figure that you could, have the Tobey head on. But it's a really great-looking face sculpt. Again, I played with a lot of my toys, so you could see that his nose has a little bit of chuff to it. It's been heavily played with over the years, but it is what it is. And speaking of heavily played with, we have the Dr. Octopus figure. Now, this was a great one. It's really cool, but you can see he is pretty beat up. I played with this one a lot. he used to have a tab on the back, and ironically, it's the same one that's in the package there, but the tab would kind of make the arms like move in. It kind of sucks that the arms aren't very posable. They're kind of just stuck doing what they're going to do, but it was a great figure. And speaking of which, let's just go ahead and take a look at the one in the package. 30 points of articulation, pretty cool with tentacle attack action. He came with little sunglasses, so that's awesome. You can see this one's pretty damaged. Ironically, I also got this one in Knoxville. Remember, we were talking about the Green Goblin earlier that I got there, Halloween weekend 2021. But this was really cool. I paid $60 for it in the package, and it's easily worth $120 now. Obviously, I got a really good deal on it. Very grateful for that, and it's something that I've thought about selling because I can make money on it, but I'll just never get another one at that price, so it's really hard for me to let go of. And then I got this a couple weeks ago here in Nashville at a toy show, a tiny little toy show. Just amazing to see something like this in the package. What? Of course, I love that it's got the J. Jonah Jameson punching bag, and something that I love about this, Lego does this too, where it's like in universe, right? So like an action figure is punching a bag with an action figure on it instead of just a picture of J.K. Simmons. I just really like that in universe that makes sense. And it does advertise some other figures here. What do we have? Aerial flipping Spider-Man, superposable Spider-Man. That's like a $200 figure now. And then it advertises this. And I would love to get this one, the shoot and slide Spider-Man, because I love that billboard with Mary Jane on it, which of course is the opening shot of Spider-Man 2. That would just be really cool to have. But yeah, those are all my Spider-Man 2 toys and pieces of merchandise. Definitely not as much as Spider-Man 1, but again, it's all about the quality of what we do with it, and I had some amazing memories playing with these as a kid. Now I just hope I can get this.
Let's do minifigures. Minifigure time.
The Sonic Hickory Barbecue Cheeseburger is the perfect, quick, and delicious fix for when you're craving.
What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. And today's video is super special because we'll be taking a look at every single Lego Spider-Man figure released between the years of 2002 and 2004. Now that, of course, means that all of these figures came out for the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie and Spider-Man 2. So that gives us Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and all of the supporting characters, as well as some alternate costumes for each of them and some really cool stuff along the way. So I'm really excited to show you guys this video. These are all my figures that I grew up with as a kid. Couple have replaced, just got some better copies of them over the years. But anyways, I'm super excited to do this video. A lot of you guys have been asking for it. And without further ado, let's get into this awesome little history lesson. And if you're a big Spider-Man fan like me, be sure to check out my music video, The Girl Next Door. It was written about the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and filmed in all the places that they actually filmed the movies in real life. And yes, I actually did this scene. Check it out. So I'd really like to go in roughly chronological order with these figures. So these are the first three figures that aren't Spider-Man and the main characters, of course, that came in the studio set, Spider-Man Action Studio. We got a director that looks exactly like Steven Spielberg. I don't know why it wasn't Sam Raimi. We've got an actor that's playing a cop and a stuntman with some money here. All of these figures appeared in other sets, but they are technically Spider-Man figures as well, so I figured I'd start off with them. From that same set, the Spider-Man Action Studio, we have Spider-Man and Peter Parker, both of which were super cool figures. Let's look at Peter Parker first. Of course, it's the Tobey Maguire Peter Parker. It's a very dated-looking torso, but I do like the fact that he had a double-sided head. Double-sided heads were relatively rare back in 2002. Not like super rare, but compared to today, where pretty much every figure has two sides to their head, it was definitely a little bit more uncommon. Gotta love the glasses look and the camera. Then, of course, we have the Spider-Man figure. Now, this figure appeared in several different sets based off of the first Spider-Man movie, and they changed the look for the second movie. The Action Studio version came with like a little red drape piece that you could put on the back that had a stud so you could like move them around on a stick. And The figure itself is really fantastic. I always loved the silver on this because it's kind of reflective as I move it in the light. And he had hip printing, which is quite cool as well. The 3 sets that this came in was the Spider-Man Action Studio, the Final Showdown, which was like the bridge battle, and the Origins, which was the origin story for Peter Parker and the Green Goblin, both becoming superheroes, or supervillains in the Green Goblin's case. Speaking of the Green Goblin, the first one we got came out in 2002 in a Lego set literally called Green Goblin. Now, you can see that on his back here, he does have one of those drape pieces with a stud on the back that I was talking about. Remember, I said Spider-Man had a red version of that. And the idea was you could put a stick on there and kind of move the figure around to play with it or to make videos with it. Now, the cool thing about this is he has leg printing. In fact, he's the only figure in the Lego Spider-Man line from 2002 through 2004 to actually get leg printing. And, of course, the helmet mold is really unique as well. You can lift that up and see that Norman Osborn's face is underneath, and he does have printing on the back of the helmet as well. Now, it's a little bit creepy for his helmet to have no printing on it whatsoever, so the following year, in 2003, they made a version that had gold and black printing on the face, just to give it an extra layer of depth and detail, and it definitely looks better than the one without, but both figures are still pretty rare and sought after today. So this figure only came in the Green Goblin set from 2002, and this figure with the printing came in the Origins and the Final Showdown from 2003. Since we've been talking about the Origins set a good bit, I'll go ahead and show you these two. This is the Scientist and Norman Osborn from the Green Goblin transformation scene. The Scientist, I don't think he's exclusive to this set in that all of these pieces came in other sets, but maybe this combination of them was exclusive. So he's cool, but, not much to say there. But Norman Osborn is kind of the same. All of these pieces came elsewhere, but it is a cool figure nonetheless. I love the scared face on this side and the determined face on this side. It doesn't really look anything like Willem Dafoe, but it's still a really cool figure and definitely a cool figure for the time because I think it just really screams 2003 era Lego to me. Here we have the first ever Mary Jane Watson figure, and her torso was exclusive to this set, but all of the other pieces came elsewhere. I love that she's got a smirk face on this side, but I never understood why she has a mole. Certainly Kirsten Dunst didn't have that in the movie, but I think it was Lego just reusing parts they already had. So I like that you could get the scared face, and I do like how accurate the torso is to the movie. I mean, it's pretty much straight out of the movie, even though she probably should have had a skirt here. One other thing to notice is so far, pretty much all of the minifigures have had yellow skin. Keep that in mind because I will talk about that a little later in the video. Here we have Mary Jane from the set called The Origins, and this was like from the high school field trip. Definitely a cool figure, same face as before, kind of the frazzled hair that they were using on Hermione from before, and they actually put a little cleavage printing on the figure. Definitely something Lego would not do today, but again, 2003 was a completely different era for Lego, and sometimes things like that kind of shine through, and I don't think it's the end of the world. It's, obviously we can be mature about it, but it is kind of interesting that Lego was pretty unabashed about that back then, and now that's something they would probably not do on a minifigure. Then we have Mary Jane from the Final Showdown, which was the bridge battle set. This is her in her pajamas from when the Green Goblin kidnaps her. And basically you just put her on top of the bridge so Spider-Man could come rescue her. Definitely a cool figure. I really liked that torso when I was younger just because it was cool for making customs. Just two really unique pieces, the pink and white together. But, it's not really a standout figure by today's standards. This is Peter Parker from the Origins set. He does not have another side to his head. It's just the glasses, kind of interestingly. Of course, he comes with the camera from when he takes the picture of MJ and gets bit by the spider. And I really like the torso on this figure. It's super accurate to what Tobey Maguire wore in this scene in the movie, and definitely really cool. So, yeah. They're technically Raimi Spider-Man figures, so we'll include them, but these are just two kind of random people. This guy came in the Final Showdown bridge battle set. You could, put him in the little train car so that, there was somebody to rescue, or he could be a taxi driver, whatever you needed him to be. And then this guy came in Spider-Man's first chase, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. He was a police officer that drove the police car, chasing the car that contained the guy that stole the money in Spider-Man 1. So, yeah, not great figures, but definitely worth including. So speaking of the first Chase set, this is the guy that stole the money from Spider-Man 1. It actually looks a lot like him. They did a pretty good job. I always like this torso. I'm pretty sure it's exclusive to this set. You know, all of these 2002, 2003 torsos are pretty dated.